fashion cooking Sunday with me, RIBEA. It's one of my fashioning today. Everyone loves this dress. We always love it. Yes, this is nice. We get this color time right. We're gonna fashion this dress today with our autumn season fashion with all of these big wheels and things that happens in our season. And we really gotta try, and I don't want all the LGBTQ edits on my phone. If there's LGBTQ people behind the scenes listening into my room, and then keep my room's videos clear, because I can see when my photos are edited in odd ways, when there's African people in my room, when my photos are edited, like the video is looking now, it looks like there's a COSA team there behind the scenes, and it looks like there's an LGBT team. So technically, when y'all are behind the scenes, then y'all are revealed in the video. And don't drop my videos because my universe reveals that there's a whole team of people today in the room. And because we're doing cooking show, and not necessarily a show, but home cooking, we need the environment kind and the environment to be non-aggressive to us in our houses, right? And today we're doing lamb chop, grilled chicken, we're doing a sweet pumpkin, and we're doing our lovely rice, right? And when I have a lot of communication in my house, and there's calls that people communications, there was already a CC Winans video in my house, meaning that they already wanted to edit my video oddly, right? There's already LGBT team that they want to add an LGBT edit on it. So when there's all of those communications, don't disrupt my room and don't disrupt my cooking, because it's really home cooking. And when the video is off and we're in our houses, then the aggression sometimes goes on and on, because of the teams of people that works around social media and that works around all of these processes. So the first team who had something wrong was really going to be in the room, and then they had a CC Winans video. And when they have CC Winans, then they want to edit my video in odd ways, in ugly ways, in rude ways, in disruptive ways. And when they edit only a video, then it's not only a video that they're editing, but then it's a whole something that can go wrong in my kitchen. I can slip, and a lot of things can happen under such communications. And that's why I kindly request, because I clearly say in my videos, it's home cooking, doing it at my house, and I'm not in a television studio, so don't disrupt anything about the cooking. This is other than that. And that's what I wanted to say about that. So what am I now gonna do, everyone? We're gonna shake quickly our pumpkin is already chopped quickly, and I already have error number 1 now in the video. Error number 1 means there's already people in my room video that's disruptive. So first thing is that's quickly in the pot, and that's a lamb chop, that's a chicken boki, and that's spiced lovely, together with a lovely grilled potato. The potato is not gonna be peeled the way that we love our potatoes with the peels, and we're gonna do the onion with the lamb chop, because we're gonna do the lamb chop in the Russell Hobbs spot. And then we're going to do a grated carrot in the rice, and a piece of half an onion or another chopped onion in the rice as well, right? Our spices today, we don't really have a lot of spices, so we're going to depend today on all the natural flavors there. What spices do we have? Ignore the knife that's on the table, right? What spices do we have? There's allspice. There's a little drop in there, so I'm going to make use of that. There's my pepper. That's going to be by my potatoes today, and on my lamb today there's salt, because we want the natural lamb flavor of that. And then there's not the pickle spice of it, but in pickle spice we get peppercorns, and we're going to use the peppercorns in the pickle spice. Another lovely spice that you get in the pickle spice today is our cloves. Yes, because we want our cloves in our lamb and our potatoes and our onions, and we're going to add salt to those flavors. Another thing, let me quickly just have our video key to our pumpkin area key. Our pumpkin is going lovely in the sweetness of that this morning, and that's the half of last week's pumpkin that we had, and we're going to prepare that today. And our rice is already cooked, and we're just going to add all the love, all the kindness, and all the flavors to all our dishes. So let us quickly continue with that cooking. We love the dress. We need to get the sauce right. We need to photo right. We always get this dress wrong in every Sunday's photo. So what do I want to do? I want to do my onion first. I'm gonna leave my butter this side. And let me close it again. Onion, that's right. My sugar, I'm gonna leave this side. That's right. And I use the chopping board and not my other lovely platter board. Everyone, if y'all are in the room still, y'all can say hi, yes, y'all can chat. Another thing, if y'all are exactly now gonna order our Picnics New Zealand, let me quickly turn the camera because I'm quickly gonna chop my onion. Okay. If y'all are going to order what you call that, the picnic bags. Let me quickly first do this. If y'all already gonna order our picnic bags, our picnic snack platters, yes, thank you. And then I also have available the snack platter, the savory platter, thank you. And if everyone is gonna order those platters, put your orders through on my email. And if you put the orders through via my email address, and you want to order a platter, I deliver the platter to where y'all are at. The platters are for the office environment and for the office teams, yes. Morning office meetings, platters, yes. And I prepare the whole platter, yes. And the platters are then to be delivered at the offices about business, an office initiative. And I educate everything office. So New Zealand offices do not disregard about business. The world is a very kind place, but the world don't like our businesses to be disregarded. When I find myself in Auckland, New Zealand, has been educated the process. In America is functioning well on the process. And I'm already sitting 3 years in Auckland, New Zealand. And Auckland, New Zealand has not once in this 3 years. I'm already 5 years in Auckland, New Zealand. Auckland, New Zealand offices exactly knows every process that I'm educating. And they exactly know where work business is at in all of the office communications internationally. And if the offices does not communicate to a work business about a work business leading this generation mentorship sessions that I've got available for the office teams, and that are based on my work experience, and that the offices need the information and they need to be educated on it. If the offices does not cooperate with me, then that punishment is on Auckland, New Zealand businesses. And we have made it clear to all the businesses. I've explained Auckland, New Zealand businesses every requirement. So there's a lot of people in the offices that has lost their jobs, not necessarily because of RIBEA, but the process also includes every part of business that the offices has learned over the years. And on Saturday, if a work business arrives on the scene and are not on the scene, and it's not a scene caused by a disruption or by an accident, and the accident can be prevented, then the officers prevent the accident by contacting the work business and the times that they are required to. Certain officers exactly knows how they are required to contact a business like a work business, and that have had a human resources career, and that now sits in line with certain officers in the international world. And then all of those educations, I even mentioned it on my cooking video so that everyone finds information. And if managers doesn't know, good morning, then thank you. I also love the outfit. You're also gonna love the photo of it today. I love it. Almost like a clown outfit, but it's a very nice dress. If the officers don't know the information, then find out from the international world, find out from South Africa, how does such a process work? Find out from America, how does a work business work? America functions on the process already. In America's businesses are already functioning on the processes of working within a work business where it's at in its season, right? So for New Zealand officers, if you all don't know, discuss with your managers the processes so that your countries are not dysfunctioning the international world's processes. I've explained a lot out of a work business so that every business can go and find out where they are at in communication with where work business are at. Oh, ISAC 2024 education is continuing tomorrow morning. Yes, thank you, everyone. Hope everyone is listening to all those educations. That's a very nice education. Okay, let me first think what I want to do. Yes. What I want to do with this lamp chocolate. That's So now we're gonna really love this lamb chop. You got a little bit of sauce here that we're gonna use for our lamb chop. Lamb onion is that's lovely. We switch our pan quickly and saute. We add a little and we quickly start that. Quickly begin that. Well, I like the way we have started the process and begin the process. Yes. Start the process might mean that we are in a car communication. And then we say start the process. When we are the human being, and we are cooking in our kitchen, and then RIBEA says begin the cooking of the lamb. If you hear you say the word start and you say the word stop, then you realize that you might be in a car communication like a robot, and we are the human beings. And we consider ourselves in all of the communications. When we learn that we might be the robot in the car communication, then we don't get angry about what we don't know, but we might have had to be cautious. We might have to be a little bit cautious, yes. If you hear that it sounds like you're saying your word translations in a different way than you would normally speak, and you know exactly very well, and you are Vogue, and you write your Vogue Seasons book, and your Vogue, however book, all the books and magazines, and a Vogue Awoken Purpose book, y'all can order all our books, everyone. When y'all are writing all of those books, everyone. And the books are on stripe.com and by email. Then order our books, everyone. Order our books, yes. Universe is not difficult with humanity. Humanity makes it difficult on itself, and then the universe looks dysfunction. It looks like the universe communications are dysfunction because the earth are very disruptive and in poverty and wars. When the earth are disruptive and there's so much wars and poverties on earth. Mornings for that one that also tuned, stay in the room and let us know if you're still in the room. Thank you. When the earth are already so disruptive because all the communications need to be right. And we learn about the processes of how businesses are having to communicate and how the communication between businesses are, then we in our countries and in our businesses find a way to have the process be fine where we are at and when we work with the such processes itself. I know sometimes I say a lot of things and a lot of people think that they don't work with the processes, so then it's fine. For the people that sometimes know exactly what I'm talking about, and it has been revealed sometimes that a lot of people are working on the process of how the earth functions and how countries are provided for, and how households are provided for. And for the people that works exactly on the process itself, right? And that knows exactly the process of an work business itself. That knows exactly by this time a work business should have had that communication and that communication and that communication. That is the funding of RIBEA ELISE based on RIBEA ELISE's work experience. For such people that knows that information by person, right, and that has listened in, and they know exactly what is happening, and they heard about such a process before, of how businesses are funded for, of how RIBEA has explained the work business, of RIBEA's career history that are intertwined with the work business and where businesses in the world finds itself at, and how businesses in the world are actually existing. And then it is advisable for people that knows the process to sometimes find out how can you assist people in the office of businesses that doesn't realize how business communications work, right? We've studied communications and human resources. And when I studied communications, yes, I had a dream this morning about someone that I worked at Roland Goldet, right? And now I'm reminded of when I was employed in human resources. And when you study human resources, then you learn the communications requirement amongst humanity. And then it was odd for me to learn, why would you have a subject like communications? And I then learned that communications are the subject are exactly where the business world finds itself at. And when the business world learns how to function under all the communications that the businesses have learned over the years, and that the businesses are required to manage businesses so that the international processes are not so disruptive and in wars and in aggressions, and so that the universe are therefore not disruptive in its functioning itself, right? And in the way that the universe not functions, like I say, because it's not a yes and a no game, it is every part of existence, the same that we are learning as human beings, that it's every part of our life journey on earth. And that I explained it on my work business, it is my mama's birth womb, and we are born 7 children, and the house needs to be provided in a way that if all the children are still on earth, the house is provided for everyone in a fine way. If the children have a business, then the household are sometimes also provided from the businesses for those people in the household that are sometimes not employed for certain reasons. Remember, people's unemployment are not necessarily because people want to be unemployed, right? Thank you for joining. And we learned it over the years with how the world are aggressed, that no one sitting at home is actually sitting at home because they want to sit at home. No one sitting unemployed is actually sitting unemployed because they want to sit unemployed, right? It is processes and communications that as an international world, we have had a lot of discussions and arguments that has caused a lot of people to sit in poverty and to sit without employment because they were sometimes oppressed by the processes that were managed in the international world. And when people have found themselves, let me just open this quickly. When people have found themselves oppressing the processes of the international world, and when the international world have a requirement, and this is only an onion and this pot is not dangerous and dysfunctional, this is just a fine pot. And when the international world is under the requirement to acknowledge that the processes in the world needs to be fine and fair for every country and for every people. And then our work business explains an important journey of the process itself. Our work business explains a certain requirement that humanity has to implement that includes RIBEA ELISE's employment history, and that did not end when RIBEA ELISE was now resigning from employment and now finds myself in, when I RIBEA ELISE now find myself in a work business, but the process are having to be educated from a work business now to the international world, because the international world are working on the process, but they have a lot of disruptions that has caused them to sit like a world in wars and in poverty, and other countries fine. The countries that are fine, that's good, they're functioning fine under the process, but they therefore shouldn't disrupt other countries that have to function under not functioning, but that I have to work under the process itself, right? It's an office, it's a work, and it doesn't become a function, and it's not a go-to function and a not want to go to function, but it's a work environment that is an office, that is a requirement itself on earth. And when there's the requirement, right, that is the office itself, and that requires humanity to implement every process in a way that are fine and fair for the international world. And then about business, I'm not there to look for a place to stay, to look for a piece of bread on the table, to look for a piece of chicken on a Sunday, to look for a chop in that pot on a Sunday. About business is functioning under the work office journey that is like the womb journey of the universe, that the universe are really walking, talking, and reacting in with everything required of the universe itself, right? And then I do not have to shout so loud for every people in the world that are managing the processes and that knows exactly what I'm saying and what I'm talking about to get all the processes in the right way so that above business are recognized and acknowledged in the office that is working in its season. And such a function is so disrupted already for 3 years in above business, and the officers need to get that process right amongst them. They need to get it right, how they're gonna communicate such information. Yes, I've mentioned communications, meaning the officers need to know we are putting our lamb chops just so plain without anything yet in it. So the officers need to know what RIBEA and ELISE are saying, because what I'm saying, I have been educated and I've learned what the challenges were in the office environment. And I've learned that the officers has had a communication problem. And when there's a communication problem in the world, looks like in war, and I have worked at organizations that are European, and that the Europeans explain the circumstance that the Europeans many years found themselves in, that was wars, and how wars are prevented, and then I'm actually on my work business in my experience birthroom educating further than what I've learned at Nubribits and what I've learned at Bolenbaldet and at all the organizations. Sales Hire, Menzies Aviation, Ex-Disabled, Stanford Plaza, Philip Morris, New Zealand, Teruputo Rima, New Zealand. And then the process are actually educating and functioning further. And when the process is already functioning further, and not functioning because it has to and it wants to, but functioning because we learn the word function in the English vocabulary, but I don't agree with mentioning it because it's a disruptive in the way that it disrupts the process, because some people then want to feed households and other people don't want to. Some business owners want to feed certain businesses and want to work with certain businesses, others don't want to. And that's why I don't prefer to use the word function in my communication of what I'm explaining. And when I'm actually I'm only putting peppercorns, everyone, you're gonna love this peppercorn. And when we are actually educating the international world, we give the chocolate some time. And we're educating the international world and where we are at in our birth womb. And the international world now learned that I really have explained my complete employment history. I have explained my complete employment journey and my educational journey, and the officers need to implement the process around me, a process about my journey itself. Then everyone needs to sometimes go and find out where they have to get the information from so that they can be on one walk and talk and attitude with where the universe are at, with my employment journey, my educational journey, and towards the way that houses are funded for, so that the earth and the universe are not so dysfunctional under the birth womb itself of the universe and of humanity itself. When the officers are not so dysfunctional under the birth womb, then the officers are not going to dysfunction the processes in the international world. And when the officers doesn't dysfunction the process in the international world, then the international world would not be so great. Officers and businesses, yes. And once everyone has the right to get the communication right and fine, then and everyone manages the communication fine, and I do not have to explain the process so much to people that are already realizing what I'm saying and already working on these processes, but they have ignored me almost for 3 years on my about business and social media. But then sometimes people have to step in and say, you know what, the communication needs to go there and there and there, and everyone that has to step in have to look at the world in general and has to know where do you react when the process are and requiring everyone's attention to learn that the structured requirements of my birth journey and of the functioning of offers and of the structuring of offers are required and where RIBEA ELISE is. And RIBEA ELISE mentioned that to the world so many days and times. I've mentioned it a lot. I said this process doesn't have everything there that needs to be there. And when you mention it so many times to people, and people want to ignore you, then people want to sometimes disrupt the world. If they already know what you are talking about, and they are already working on the process, and they are really not there, then they sometimes want to disrupt the world in some communications. So what am I using? After that, I'm using the lovely peppercorn too. And I'm using the lovely clove. Lovely clove. Lovely. Let's try this chili also. So I'm just looking for a clove. And then I'm gonna throw everything. Oh, I love a clove. Let's add some more peppercorns to our lamb. Now this is how pickle spice, and I'm looking for peppercorn in it, and I'm getting a feeling. And I'm always getting the peppercorns out of this pickle spice. And I'm always getting the cloves. I'm not getting a clove here. That's right. Now what I do is I add the pickle spice exactly a piece of there. Let's add that spice. So this I really only want of those peppercorns. I love this. It looks lovely, everyone. Let me quickly share this with you. And that's now our lamb chop, and that's now our chicken, and that's now going in after that. Not onions. The onions is for our rice, our spiced rice today. And that potato is now also going into the pot, and then we're gonna grill it there. We're just gonna make a good sauce quickly. Look how lovely lamb. So what we add to the lamb is a drizzle of water. And please stop in more water. And the lamb is gonna now quickly. Lovely sauteing that. We have a packet of lovely sauce, but we want every part of juice in the lamb and in the chicken to now be in the pot, so that we can then add our potatoes and dish the lamb out, and then that becomes our sauce over our rice and over our lamb. That's everyone. Let's quickly move to our pumpkin, right? So once our lamb pot, I'm quickly gonna restart the lamb pot on a pot roast. And so that pot roast start, that's right. Now we're going to our pumpkin, our sweet pumpkin. We want our sweet pumpkin to go also so fast. And then we're gonna do our rice after that. It's a very nice pot that we have there. And I hope you love our hairstyle. We're gonna get our hairstyle very lovely. Then we're gonna do our eyebrows properly. I don't know. We're gonna do almost the same lipstick today. And we're gonna flatten our hairstyle a little bit because we have to still put our toupee on so that it can be nice and flat and nice and oily and lovely. So hopefully I'll get to that. Right, lovely. What are we after that gonna add to our rice? So rice is gonna be a warm rice, and we're only gonna add bay leaves to our rice. We're gonna warm the bay leaf flavor. We're gonna add a chopped onion. We're gonna add grated carrot, and we're going to then add the bay leaves so that the rice warmly steam in that steam warm. And that's gonna be our rice today. I got the chopped onion, the grated carrot ingredient somewhere a few years ago. Someone was in our house, yes, and she gave me that recipe to add the grated carrot, and it really makes a good difference. I really love that grated carrot and the rice and stuff. Half a teaspoon of salt, pumpkin, and what do we do with our pumpkin? We've learned over a few weeks. We put our pumpkin on the lowest level, on the level 4 or level 3, because now we're gonna put our attention to our pumpkin, but we don't want our pumpkin to spoil because it is a live stream video while we are cooking for the house, and I don't like spoiled pumpkin. I like a caramelized pumpkin, and it tastes lovely when I want to eat a caramelized pumpkin, and I also need my attention even by a caramelized pumpkin. So that's where we are at, towards the low plate that we put our pumpkin on. Quickly adding half a teaspoon of salt. I'm quickly adding. Today we don't have a lot of butter, so we're not going to disturb the butter. Because today we're going to check if the pumpkin can make its own juice. So I'm actually eating 2 tablespoons of butter, actually. But it's for me, this half a spoon. The oven thing is old and greasy, so I love to have a lid on my food while I'm cooking. 2 tablespoons of butter. And then we add our lovely sugar. We're not going to add too much sugar also, but we have enough sugar in the house here. This looks like we're adding 4 tablespoons of sugar. Because we're going to mess that pumpkin after we have cooked the pumpkin. Let's check. Our sugar is really almost finished, yes. And I'll stay ready for Darren Road, and Darren Road is really still looking financially strained. It is adding this quickly so everyone, because now we're putting the pumpkin pot on. And if you all could hear everything. What did I add now to my pumpkin? We're going to mash this pumpkin just so with the peels. And we love our pumpkin peel. We love every flavor in the pumpkin. So in our pumpkin, we have 4 tablespoons of sugar, 2 tablespoons of butter, half a teaspoon of salt. And we're going to do mashed pumpkin maybe today. I'm going to maybe mash it depending on if we really want to. We add a lid because the oven grill upside here is an old oven. The oven hob thingy, not grill. The oven hob, air fryer or air conditioning or whatever that is in the air. That air thing is old and greasy, and I put a lid on when I'm cooking in that area because you don't know what can be in there that might fall, all the old greasinesses that might fall into the pot, and that's why we love lid pots in this house. We're not difficult because we grew up in the finest of households. When my mama Anna moved to Chicago, I was born in Chicago at times. In years when the family didn't have the big house and everything and the lovely clothes. And then I was born in that season. And then my mama Anna bought our own house. And then we all had kind of a little bit of something again, and a fine house again. So I know about the ordinances, and our house today are very oppressed, and we are very living in that same lifestyle of we don't have everything. But there's a song, someone whose name was Tema, and Tema used to dance like that those years by Alcatraz, and there's a song that says we don't have everything, and that rhythm and blues spot. And I love this everything, but I love a lot on this spot because I don't like stuff from the air falling into the spots. I've seen a lot happening in our house, and I really don't want no oddnesses. There's a lot of trees here, and mouses runs in, and the mouse looks like robots, and the mouse might be full of cockroaches. And I had a lot of things that I thought about that can happen in these houses, and I love to have an open door. So when the young children do things and the cockroaches comes from nowhere, and then it might be a robot kid that runs in. I saw a robot in my house one time running in, and I'm very cautious of what can be. There's nothing wrong with cockroaches. I know we learn in survival series that everyone eats cockroaches, but you don't want disturbances in your house and in your pots and behind the scenes. We have a lot of mouse traps behind the washing machine here, and behind one of the couches there's mouse traps, so that we don't have oddnesses in this hop, because anything can crawl in here. How they can get in here all through the roof, but still there's still a lot of things that can happen. So we have a let now. Pumpkin is cooking, and I'm enjoying my warm again. My brother Martin Philander has his birthday in the month of May, 12th of May. He's 56 this year. And they are in South Africa. At my mama's house, the house that we inherited, the two brothers, yes. And the electricity is off for them. And I don't know where they are at and what they are doing and what's happening in the house. And I haven't spoken to them in days and years, because I always speak to them when I have money. But now my sister in England is making sure that they are fine, and she's providing for them food. And my brother Martin is also getting something like a government fund. So I wonder what they are busy with. Oh, they love it when their sisters come on vacation. And my sister Antoinette went on vacation because I didn't really have finances. So she went on vacation last year already, and then she was again on vacation. They said it was after that I had a good last time, because we are very caring sisters. And we are very plain and simple, yes, and we are very sometimes just ourselves. So we love our brothers to also have, and she always says, oh, my sister Rebecca, when you don't have, then tell me. So when I don't have money, then I always contact her. And when I really don't want to disturb her, then I really don't ask for money or anything. Because this is when I have, my mother always says that, but I also believe in that. When I have, then my brothers should have money and food, and nothing should be disturbing. So now when the electricity is off, now my auntie is cooking for them, so they are fine with that environment. Otherwise, we sisters worry and think, is our brothers fine? Is everyone fine? Where's everyone at? So when our businesses are sorted out, then we as sisters are fine. My other brother, Jacques, yes, he sometimes works for his money. He's in the music industry, and he has been all these years, good in his years for the music industry of South Africa. And now that when the music industry doesn't have bread on the table, then everyone wants to look at them sometimes as the guys that are now, the guys that are now not fine for the community. What South Africa needs to learn, when the musicians don't have their finances, there's always music initiatives, and there's a lot of businesses in South Africa. And when our band was called to Dubai, it was for that very reason. That when the musicians find themselves unemployed, and they still have everything that they need to go to different businesses to be funding and to be funded. So when they fund, they organize concerts and they do all the music, and when they get the support that they want, and they have everything that they need, then they sometimes fund for certain processes in the community also. And when the musicians are sometimes so oppressed, then we sometimes have to educate South Africa also to get their processes right, because the music industry is a process, and that shouldn't actually be disrupted. The funds should always be also including them. You know, funds in our bank account is for everyone in the country. Funds in our bank account is not only for this one and for that one and for that process. It's for everyone. It's accounting for everyone in the country. And when funds are said in a way that we go to the store and buy our food, then the funds should also go to the next house and to the next person, while the other house are already functioning on it. I've mentioned it the other day to myself, and that it's like a motor car that you are driving, but I'm going to explain it on exact 2024. How the funding process, because certain people believe that the funds should not only come to them and then they go to the store and give it back to the store and then it comes to them again. No, the funds are there for everyone in the country. Everyone in the country are accounted for the funds that countries have. And when everyone in the country are accounted for, then the funds can be going to the store through anyone, and then it goes again to the next house while it's still at your house, and then the process at your house still are fine and functioning fine. And that's how the countries are funded for. And that's certain processes that South Africa still have to get right, that they really doesn't. They work under office processes, but they really are not managing the processes in a structured way that are fine for the whole country itself. Certain people think the funds should go the whole time just go so and so. The funds go. You're having the house, like my sister Antoinette has employment. RIBEA has to have a business. But Razak has to have his required job, and the funds goes through RIBEA again to the bank, and the bank then funds someone else through RIBEA's business and funds. And then the next person, Razak's funds, goes to Zaklander, and other people are then also funded. When he goes back to the store and he gives his fund back to the store, right? Every time you give your fund back, we learn, hi, thank you. Every time we give our funds back, and then we learn that it's now not a 10% that you give and pay tax, but it's a 10% that someone else then earns in the process of functioning, then finding someone else's house. And that's how that functioning process, not functioning, how the funding process works. And when the funding process works, like I've got a bank card, I go give it back. The bank gives it to me again, and I go give it back. I go give it back, I give things to the bank, and someone else are provided, whether it's through a business, thank you, whether it's through a household. I am 40 years old, whether it's through a business, whether it's through a household, and then the next process are then funded. Yeah, South Africa is not getting that process right so far. New Zealand looks like they're getting the process right, but New Zealand has got other odd processes happening here. New Zealand has got the processes of the Hollywood Wall of Fame, and the Hollywood Wall of Fame reminds us of the Hollywood dollar is, and New Zealand has got that process, and New Zealand are oppressing a type of person that looks the same. New Zealand are under such a process, and it's disruptive to certain people in New Zealand. And New Zealand need to be structured in the processes that includes everyone, no matter if the world has a different process. And that's what New Zealand has to learn. And they're not getting it right, and I've educated them so many times, but we need to educate it a little bit further. Another thing that South Africa has got wrong, so South Africa thinks that they're now giving the money and giving the money, and it needs to go like that the whole time. It doesn't go like that. Money to the bank, money in your office business, or money in the office where you work, and money to the store. Money to you again, money to the store. That's how South Africa are structuring their process, and it's wrong. Money to RIBEA ELISE in her employment or in her business. RIBEA gives money to the store funds, the communication goes to the government makes sure that under RIBEA ELISE, another person are then funded. And the process goes like that. You get your percentage, and the process goes hand in hand, like the 7 children, and all the children are provided for in the womb of that one process itself, the mathematical 1 + 1 process. Let's check our lamp chapters now. Thank you for asking how old am I. I'm 40 years old. I need to do my 40 podcast years, and I haven't done that. And I'm going to focus on that for this year. It's a very interesting education. So let me quickly just check our other lamp pot. If you all are still in the room, yes, ask questions. You know, live, everyone says to have over all these years we learn. Ask questions, you know, live. America are managing the YouTube funding process is very fine. The international world, New Zealand does not halfway know how to configure behavior. I already have 1K viewers on YouTube, and I had another 1K viewers, and another 1K viewers is running on one of my other videos. And New Zealand hasn't contacted me. YouTube Teams New Zealand hasn't contacted me yet. And my 1K viewers, first 1K viewers was already in December 2023, and YouTube has not contacted me yet, so I don't know what YouTube New Zealand are busy with. America is funding their 1K viewers, and New Zealand needs to get that process right. Why? Because so many people in New Zealand are losing their daily employment years, not only for that, but there's a lot of reasons. I've educated it on HR24, and we will discuss it under credit function and under the credit education that I'm saying. Pumpkin is on a 1.1. Let's get my pumpkin going for today. Thank you. What am I drinking? I'm drinking a very light Nescafe, right? So there's a different color in all of these teas that we drink. My Nescafe coffee that I drink, I make it very light. It's like see-through. No, not transparent. But you can't actually see how you see through in this cup. But I make it very light. I put less than half a teaspoon of coffee in. I love a transparent coffee all these years. A very light coffee. I don't say the word transparent because ISA businesses, people are using ISA business communications to disrupt my whole business. And ISA business communications are related to wars, and that's Malvina business. And people are using on television to disrupt countries. And television New Zealand have tried it a lot, and they have lost now 300 people have lost their employment in the country because of it. And they use words on the news like sustainability a lot that Malvina used on the business. And there's another word that she uses, consistency, and Television New Zealand also did that. Another word in a business is already ISA, and ISA was already an oppressive Muslim war process of many years ago. And if people want to disturb an woke business that finds myself in New Zealand and Malvina sits in Netherlands, and New Zealand want to disrupt me, then New Zealand has to explain themselves to the international world, because New Zealand has heard my education and my life journey are different than an ISA process in the international world. ISA process means everyone looks the same certain times, and the process was meant to be implemented fine, and the process was not communicated through fine, and was sometimes maybe oppressive, and not really, because not everyone had part in oppressing countries under the ISA process. ISA process is, we get ISAs, yes, and there's ISA, and there's a lot of the communications about it. It means that certain people were oppressed in the world, and they really went a certain way, and it has caused certain aggressions amongst humanity. And when people try to oppress the communication and the education, then it's one thing. And when people are really trying to educate the process in a fine way, then it's a fine process. And that's what certain news readers and television people need to learn. They cannot tell the whole world the whole time that they are now an ISA team and an ISIS team and this. No. They need to educate it in a fine way. If they know the process and say that this is the process and this is this and this is this. Here, RIBEA sits in New Zealand, Mama Universe educates humanity in New Zealand. In RIBEA's business is a bulk, and RIBEA really requires a business to be fine, because RIBEA's business is now not only a business that was now really beginning somewhere, but it was RIBEA's educational journey in birth womb of Mama Anna that has been explained through American television, that has been explained about the woman Anna and the Anna birth womb on earth, and the woman that presents Anna, and every type of process under that, where I, RIBEA ELISE, exactly know what I'm saying, and I'm not there to oppress, and I'm educating myself that my business are not oppressive with educating the offer structured requirements. And that's why certain people need to manage such processes in a fine way for everyone in the international world. So the countries uses those words lots of times. Why? Because they are sometimes arguing, and we need to listen to, are people using the word in the right context when they say the word consistency and sustainability, and they don't just sit in television and every time you ask them a question then they say to consistency. Every time you ask them something then they say sustainability. Nowadays Kiara came from school and every time I talk to Kiara, then Kiara say the word stop, and Malvina was sitting also with a stop working in an ISA business. And every time I talk to Kiara, then Kiara say the word stop. Then I say, but why is everything so wrong and odd? And why is everyone so wrong and odd? Because the universe functions like if you give the universe information, then it births it is somewhere else. But everyone learned right from wrong, so everyone needs to know how to apply the information in your normal day. And no one sits and uses the information to aggress one another if certain countries and people already know that such communications and information are in certain countries sometimes aggressive and oppressive communications. And that's what I have mentioned to New Zealand television, that don't every word that they're saying, and then the robot says, but RIBEA go and put on the television, and then you go and put on the television, because nowadays you hear it like an AI and like a robot talking, and like a Sierra and like a house that has got a robot in it. And when they put the television on and you sit in television and the people tell you sustainability and you're busy with your boat business, and New Zealand exactly knew that they were trying to oppress the boat business. But then it's not right, then it's sometimes on and out. And then everyone has to learn right from wrong under such communication. Because certain people only try to say those words to oppress certain people under certain communications. And when television uses the word in the right way, and then it's a fine, fine place, and the world will be a fine, fine world for everyone. And that's about that. Oh, there they say that word again. Television New Zealand had 300 people years that were dismissed because of a lot of different reasons. But a lot of things were educated and explained to everyone so that everyone structures their processes in a fine way. Even I shared my livelihoods information and my employment information. And I sometimes put me in the spotlight to explain to everyone in New Zealand what I sense is wrong in the processes. So that New Zealand don't find themselves oppressed, because when I came to New Zealand was very oppressed. In New Zealand, while gangsters was having gunshots, and it was thousands of killings happening on the streets on a daily basis. Thank you for loving me so much. And it was thousands of killings happening in New Zealand. And after I educated New Zealand and I explained them a lot of information over these 3 years with the boat business, there was really non-disruptive gangster killings because everyone is listening to the information that we say. And even the government implemented processes that were fine for everyone in the country, in the way that I have also explained it. Sharing information is very important. Sharing information, yes, can sometimes put you in the spotlight, but we need to know how to share information. So yes. So lovely, everyone. The spot looks very nice. Now this chicken looks fine. Let me just quickly do this chicken for it organically because I really don't want the chicken to be. Chicken is gonna grow. Pumpkin. Let me just get my pumpkin out. Pumpkin is very on plate number 1, so that's very fine. The lamb chop is looking lovely. Everything looks lovely. That looks lovely. We're gonna now add our potatoes in the lamb in the salad. Let me just show you all this lovely lamb. Thank you for loving me so much. Someone says they love me so much. Thank you. So in this pot, I now have the lamb chopped with lovely peppercorns. Yes, and I have other peppercorns that I've added, but I have a few pickle things of the pickle spice that I added, and it's not pickle, but it's different. It was the pickled chili, yes, and there was another corn in there. That's nice. And in the spot, we have the lamb, and we're gonna add this lovely potato now to that juicy sauce in the pot of lamb because we want that flavor lovely and nice. Another thing that's also now ready for us is our pumpkin. We keep the phone a distance from the stove. Our pumpkin is lovely, everyone, and that's what we want happening in our pumpkin. And let's quickly share our pumpkin. So that's where our pumpkin is. Our pumpkin is now lovely. It's nice and soft, and we want that lovely pumpkin now to be soft. So we're gonna switch the plate off, and we're gonna leave the pumpkin maybe so we maybe gonna mash that lovely. I don't think I'm gonna want to mash my lovely pumpkin. If I mash it, then I'm gonna probably want to add more butter to that. Yeah, I've got a green lappy on the floor, my floor lappy, everyone. And in that lovely green lappy, so that if I spill anything, then I can just take my feet and make sure that there's lappy. Oh, I love that floor mop, China. You made a few lovely things that I'm very fine with. Everything that China designs and manufactures, we are very fine with. But there's a few nice things. The floor mop is very nice. Also, this pot is very lovely. I love this pot, because I don't have to be by the stove, and especially when you do a cooking that you're gonna have a live stream video, and because everyone is having live stream videos and everyone is cooking, everyone is doing a lot of things. So this pot is very, very preferable, so that not everything that you do is by the stove, and so that the stove is not on a high level while you are busy talking and while everyone is doing their videos, because it can sometimes be a lot. It can sometimes be a lot, and that sometimes happens while we're doing our videos. And because it can sometimes be a lot, we need the whole communication right and fine. And such a pot, thank you, China, for that. Such a Russell hotspot. Yeah, there was someone in South Africa and social media that bought the spot also, and I was very angry for the person because there's a lot of processes running around my house about that person, and I sometimes get angry about it. And other times, like this person's personality, other times you have a very good laugh with that person because it can be very funny. Let me just not put that quickly because I want to drizzle that all over my. That's just a lot of oregano mixed herb. And I want to drizzle over the potatoes. Now we're adding the potato. And we actually want the potato in this lamb juice. So we're lifting the lamb a little bit. International world, yeah. Rosalind Kamali, yeah. Her brother also moved to New Zealand in an odd way, and I've mentioned it in one of my videos. And she also bought a Russell hotspot. And they also worked for British American Tobacco. And British American Tobacco was interesting in South Africa. A lot of interesting processes. And every time I'm busy, then the British American Tobacco process wants to sometimes be in my house, and they in the communications of social media, not only limited to social media. And when I was also employed in the same type of business that was Philip Morris New Zealand, and that is the same industry as British American Tobacco, And then the process can sometimes be dysfunction because now Rosie stands, I was posting the pot, and then Rosie went to go buy, her husband went to buy the pot. And then I look at the situation, and then Dorian traveled to New Zealand, and Rosie's brother traveled in the same month. And I look at the situation also because of what's happening around me. And such is these processes. We have to be very sensitive because it's now my neighborhood communications, but I was now also staying in Polonais Street, and in Polonais Street was Rosalind staying, and they sell certain processes that is called ISA processes. And there are war countries, and when everyone runs, and South Africa knows the processes in the woman that disrupt your day, and it's not fine, and I say it's non-negotiable. And when South Africa don't know what they're doing, and the woman in South Africa doesn't realize what they're doing, and they're really not trying to disrupt your day, and it's like a normal life journey, and then it's fine, and then we still have a laugh about it. Because businesses can already sometimes pressurize the process a lot. And that's why everything was very sensitive about. So that no one are busy with odd things around our households because our children are growing up and the process is around our houses and around our children. And by the time that you were employed in the process, then you look around and you say, yeah, but how did I not realize all these processes now looks a little odd? Yeah, and it looks like everyone just now say everything about RIBEA. Even before I was on social media, even before I had my work business, everyone was already in communication about our household. And on Saturday, we educate the international world to not endanger our household and to not endanger our children. In such a process, we learned that natural causes on earth was never actually natural causes. And then we learned it was actually all of these processes. And then people come to blame you, and then you look and then you learn, oh, it's a process that are actually being managed in a way, or structured in a different way in the international world. And when we learn that, then we educate the international world to not endanger our households under all of those processes and communications. I'm going to add a little salt. That's right, and then we give a lamb a little bit more stir time. The lamb chop is going to get a little bit more time, a little bit more drizzle tea. And then we're going to, and a little bit more drizzle tea. And our lamb is going to get a little bit more time, a little bit more drizzle of water tea. And then that's fine. Another thing, everyone, that I'm mentioning, right? Another thing that I'm actually mentioning. These are things happening here around my communication. That's fine. Now I'm going to add a little to this. I add a drizzle of salt. And after that, we're going to check all this lovely lamb flavor. Only thing we added to this lamb, salt and pepper. So we're going to focus on that sauce. And we're going to quickly put pot roast inside. Another thing that we mentioned, the house was built under a certain process. Thank you for joining our room. Press hi, press like. I haven't seen anyone pressing like. Oh, y'all don't know to press like. That's fine. The house was built under a certain process in the international world. And the process includes RIBEA looks like a fashion person. The house is built for RIBEA to do a fashion videos and a work business at least. Part of the house's people that we're staying in knows about the process. The only thing that they need to do while we're going to prepare the rice stuff. Mama Martha rice, 100 years. Grandma Martha was 100 years old, yes. Let me quickly do my rice carrot while I'm doing that. Grandma Martha was 93 years when she was deceased. Could have been 100 years because the information those years were oddly wrong by Home Affairs South Africa. So our family is a 100-year generation family. My uncle and auntie years. My mama years, 60s, 63. My mama said she could have been 70 already by the time that she was deceased because her birth date was the whole time oddly out, and she knew that it was oddly out when she grew up all these years. Now when she went to Home Affairs gave her a totally different birth date, and she stayed on counting her years the way that she grew up. and the way that she knew the information. And when she got to the Home Affairs South Africa, by the time that we moved to Paarl Community, and then Paarl Community gave her totally a different birth date. So she could have already been 70 also when she was deceased, yes. And she always said that to us. And my mama's brothers, yes, were all 70 and 80. Two of them are still alive, yes, 83 and 87 years old. And 80-something years old. And while we are in a 100-year education also, in a 100-year journey, we call it not only education, but it's a life journey on earth. And it's a womb journey, means your birth womb in the universe of how we say your walk, your talk, your attitude, everything that you do is in that 100-year communication. And our generation also are working in the 100-year communication. Thank you for that, working. Our generation also are working in the 100-year communication. And I didn't say the word function because it has to be the word working that I actually want to say. If our generation is really working in the 100-year communication, and our vote business is also managed in that, and are also having to be managed under the 100-year communication and education. And it includes everything of your journey. I call it the birth of right? It includes everything of your journey and time. And the America Celebrity House educated, yes. And all the television educations in every country are supposed to structure their processes in every generation, right? So they have to structure it in every generation, right? Meaning the world would not be oppressive and in poverty if everyone learns how the process are having to be structured and how such a process are having to be implemented. And if I understand my process much better, if I've learned my process in a much clearer way and I explain it to the international world, in a way that I have now learned so much about my birth womb. And it really is now also educated in my business Evoke, and not educated, but business Evoke is now also the existence and part of my Mama Anna Philander and our Mama Anna Philander birth womb journey. And then it's advisable that people don't try to disrupt such a communication the whole time. When they try to disrupt our houses and they know sometimes the process and they've learned the process over the years and they try to disrupt our houses, so then we sometimes seem to think that people realize that it's a process, and then it looks like people are required to not disrupt it, and that other people should learn and be educated not to disrupt such communications. And when other people are required to not disrupt other communications, then we actually explain it in our Vogue business a lot, yes. And I don't have spices in my house, otherwise I would have spiced a lovely barbecue spice over my lamb also. And while I don't have spices in my house, because I love a barbecue spice now in this food today, and I really don't have barbecue spice, so that's why I've only added the pepper also. So when everyone are really educated the information, they will learn to say, everyone, if you all now have learned what I am explaining, then don't disrupt my Evoke communication, specifically for business owners that are women that are having their own businesses at home and that have the same initiatives. Do not disrupt my RIBEA business and communications, and do not try to disrupt any of such communications in anywhere on earth, because it's not only a business, but it's a birth womb. And I've explained it a lot, that it is a birth womb. A birth womb means it is a journey, and that is not only a human journey, but a communication in the universe. When we say communication in the universe, then we talk about where humanity are now not only functioning on earth in their walk and not functioning, but where humanity are not only on earth, but it is your walk, your talk, and your reaction. And it is actually the cars on the road, and it is actually a communication in the universe. And no one should try to disrupt such a birth womb, and no one should anyway disrupt any birth womb, but it is actually the universe's reaction that includes the human being on earth. The human being will be, and our family was born in that walk, our talk, our reactions is, and my business of work is also born in that same education. And therefore, we advise business owners to not disrupt just because they want to disrupt. To think out, why would you want to disrupt in about business? And if you have not heard RIBEA, there's something like jealousy, and everyone is yellow, and some people are jealous, and that's fine for us to still be jealous of one another. And other things are, if you learn that jealousy now is maybe sometimes aggressive to such a process in the international world, then learn to know how to be jealous of another business owner, how business owners should have competitions so that it's non-disruptive to the universe itself. Now we're going to quickly take our choppy out. We don't dry our choppy too much because now I only want the onions in this lovely sauce. We don't dry our choppy too much because our choppy is now going to lay under the chicken and in a lovely sauce, and we're going to actually only grill the chicken in the oven. But the choppy is going in with it, but the choppy is only going to go in with the sauce itself. Once our potatoes are lovely and soft. It looks lovely, everyone. Yeah, my lips. Someone says about my lips. Sometimes the video makes my lips look so fat and odd, but that's fine. And other times when you're introduced to me, then the lips is now probably not going to be fat and odd, depending on what lipstick I'm wearing. Are they saying this house's lipstick's name? Julia. What's it called? What's the lipstick's name? Not Julia, something. Angelina Jolie lipsticks, and the lipsticks rolls your lips. You get to that, you sometimes don't get to that. Swelling lips, you get in a lipstick sometimes, and it firms the lips a little bit more. Other times, the accuracy of the lip color is the video, sometimes blasting the video. Some people are blasting the videos, like making a New Yorker magazine video, and then the lip sometimes looks dysfunctional, and we're not even angry about it because it's just what we call business owners' jealousy and competitions that some people are doing. At times we say to everyone, don't disrupt our videos and don't edit our lips and don't do all of those editing things. Don't do all of the editing things if y'all don't have to. Yes. For the YouTube people that opens the rooms for us to do our live stream videos in, do not disrupt the live stream videos if y'all do not have to. Don't unnecessarily disrupt our communications. Okay, that's right. Food is almost ready. Very lovely, everyone. So now what we're gonna do, that's our potato. Lovely. And in our potato, it's now in our lamb sauce. It's now gonna soft cook in our Russell Hobbs lovely pot. We love this pot. This pot is doing very good in our kitchen. We love everything about this pot. But it is now gonna do its lovely thing. And then we're gonna have that sauce, and we're gonna add the sauce to our lamb because we want to really just grill the chicken a little bit in the oven and not the lamb. And then we're going to do our rice. When we now cover our pot with clay, that's right. And okay, that's right. Thank you for that, everyone. Now we're going to quickly go to that and give this a start. That's for that. Now we're going to our rise, and then our day is complete. And then it's table plated and video and social media. Let's check quickly our communications. Please like if you'll have to. Phone battery is still fine. And that's fine. Yes, don't be delusional in these videos. Thank you. Someone says something about. I can clearly hear when the recording says something here behind the scenes. Delusional means these videos can make you dysfunctional. Such processes can make humanity dysfunctional. And sometimes behind all your communications and your wordings and everything, right? That's why I have some of the veggies already chopped. And I have everything, the pumpkin was already chopped, because you learn on such a journey, but don't let the journey dysfunction you. And they'll make you look like this delusional lunatic sometimes. And even if you look like a delusional lunatic, and then you are actually not delusional, but then it's actually the communication of AI and of technology that can sometimes be a little bit harsh on the human being itself. Food's ready now, everyone. So only thing I'm gonna do, I'm quickly gonna do a little rice, just add a little dressing after that. To do my add a carrot. We're gonna chase our pumpkin to that because we're now gonna need that lid quickly. Pumpkin, you're gonna quickly bake this side because our pumpkin is cooked. We're gonna need our pumpkin lid. So you quickly bake it. That's fine. That brings up me Baileys, who loves Baileys? Lovely. We're gonna add this to the rice. The smokiness and the warmth of the rice is gonna give us the flavor of the best. This is what it is. Slowly, let's go with that rice. Now we're gonna add a little bit of that. And the rice is warming and steaming. And that's quickly add. In fact, that's now. Once this is ready, we're gonna warm the rice and add the rice to that. Once it's now soft, right? So we're quickly softening that loveliness. And once the loveliness of that, how to call it, the carrot and the onion. Carrot and the onion is in the potatoes. No, when the carrot and the onion are soft. Everything's alright and fine. Everyone looks at about business. Where's our sugar? Our sugar is now. There's about you. There's about you. Let's put the back quickly. So there's our vote photo. Our vote photo, working purpose is our petal Rabana RIBEA leaves. Yes. And it's everything RIBEA leaves. And it's everything of our vote business. Petal Rabana, yes, Ray-Ban sunglasses. Ray-Ban, if your sunglasses have RIBEA sign in, And then tag us into that. If your Pekka Rabana sunglasses have RIBEA ELISE profile photo for your sign on, and then tag us into that because such is this international world. Yes, Ray-Ban sunglasses. If you buy a pair of Ray-Ban sunglasses and it looks like a Vogue photo, then tag us into that. It's the international initiative of my Mama Anna Philander birth room. And I have learned about it in a very interesting way in the international world. And for those people who buy the Ray-Ban sunglasses, I saw my brother Leon in South Africa, and on the photo he had his Ray-Ban sunglasses on. If it looks like a RIBEA ELISE Vogue smile and Mama Anna Philander smile, and then tag us into that, everyone. Leon didn't tag me, my sister sent the photos to me, and I saw the photos and I saw a Vogue smile on it. And such is our international world, and such is our international processes. Buy your Pekka Rabana, support a Vogue business initiative, support birth rooms in the international world of it. And there's so much Mama Anna Philander international processes here. And our family hasn't been introduced to it. It has been educated to me only. And a lot of videos have been explained to me through television. And share in the initiatives of how houses are functioning in the universe, not functioning, how houses are structured in the universe. Thank you for that. Yes, there's Zara with the R of the ELISE product here. She in all of those initiatives. And buy y'all's Pekka Rabana RIBEA smile. And we can't get that smile again because it's a $1 billion smile. We need the eyelids as well. We're going to do the hair wave again sometimes. But we need everything right. We need everything about it, the atmosphere, the environment around you, the right dress. You buy your right H&M dress. You do everything and you get that awakeness again. Sometimes you get that smile once in a lifetime. Some people say they've waited years and they haven't even had the journey that RIBEA ELISE had to be introduced to RIBEA ELISE in the universe and to be introduced to yourself and your birth womb on earth. And such an education, she found someone better and had been dating me for the last 2 months. If she has cheated on you and you need your wife back, your girlfriend just broke up with you. We again gonna talk about girlfriends breaking up with you. I just want to check my rice quickly. Thank you. Otherwise, I would now be disturbed a little bit. And I'm gonna say what I want to say. Let me quickly just get my for some people is that not to disturb your kitchen. So let me quickly focus on my rice. While I'm focusing on my rice, we're gonna add a rice quickly to that. Because I'm really not gonna need any disturbance. Nothing if we know if we're gonna do. I'm gonna have a spoiled onion here. Yes, someone said it now. I'm quickly taking the spoiled onion out because I really want no respect. Now we're adding more bay leaves to that. And there's another lot of the southern onions. Now we're quickly adding a little more bay leaves to that. Let me first show you this video because I really feel something. connection in. Put this right. Now I'm gonna quickly stir the rice, right? So there I've got that lovely flavor. I don't want my rice a lot bit disturbed. And that's the bay leaf. Now I'm gonna quickly warm steam that bay leaf. So let me just do that. Warm stir the bay leaf while it's warm, right? I don't want to do it too much because I don't want too much of this fish. If there's any foil, then we can just check that. While we steam this right. As long as your spool is not an odd spool. If your spool is an odd spool, then I prefer yeah. Then you can make your onion over your carrot. If it was now an odd spoil. Because you don't want to spoil with something around. And you sometimes don't mind. Yes, sometimes don't mind getting spoiled something. I want to taste this rice before I took a video. Lovely, it's warm. Lovely, everyone. Now I'm going to quickly taste this. Lovely, guys. It's nice. So they'll like that openness and stuff now, a little bit before because something falls in my rice. Lovely, everyone. Since it's a warm steam rice, we're gonna later steam warm it when we set the table. Another thing that we're now gonna do is we're gonna be back with that spoon by the other pot. That's lovely. These are kind of a rice. It's lovely. It's full of flavor. It's full of love, and it's full of kindness. Another thing that we're quickly gonna share is a pumpkin cake today. It's lovely. It's sweet, and that's that love. Now we're gonna quickly do our chopping our lecture, and then we're gonna say what we wanted to say. Say what we want to say. That's another thing that people do. When we do live videos, who now may have a smile is on your hand. Please, we want to melon. We want to learn. Anyway, odd people, no oddness is in the house. Someone always there to say. Another thing, YouTube sometimes maybe also like a bad family. Like boyfriend and girlfriends looking for one another. Yeah. But this is not a dating YouTube video. This is our kitchen. Another thing that I want to say, yes, if anyone still want to date RIBEA without that about clear weave and that about can smile and the glossiness to be so visible in the photo, you know, all the things that can happen in this world around all of these universe processes. That Paco Rabanne. It's a once in a moment smile. It's a once in a moment photo. It's a once in a moment shine. And you don't get it every day. And sometimes you get it every day. And you hold on to that of you, yes. And you locate that evoke to you in your every season, right? The way that Evoke Business explains it. And you also love this day that your photo is now not so clear as that Ray-Ban sunglasses sign. And the day that your photo is not so clear and you look like the trees outside your house and your hair sometimes just want to look like the top of the trees and you get everything like that, then it is not an odd day, it is an amazing day. When your eyebrows and you don't get the eye, what is it that I'm waiting for? The mascara. And you don't get the mascara and you didn't have your eyelashes, your eyebrows done into like RIBEA ELISE in that day and you just everything you seasons, then you allow it, you embrace it, you hold on to it and you fashion that. Because that is Evoke Business. You learn to know that this, and then you say, oh my universe, you make me look like the trees today. Then my universe say yes. Because you sometimes today have to sit a little bit maybe outside, or you have to enjoy the tree day of your autumn season with the autumn seasoners. And on the day that Mama Universe makes you look like the trees outside, yes, like a Vogue Face photo says, and then you embrace that. And now then you love that day, and you hold on to that day. So now potatoes is lovely. Also grilled with the chicken and with the lamb. So we also have a packet of sauce. It's chicken sauce, Sunday chicken sauce, but we're adding it to this lovely lamb sauce later when we're going to set the table. And then we just pepper that flavor of the sauce. The day that Mama Universe says, today, RIBEA, you look like trees outside. RIBEA said, why am I looking so odd, Mama Universe? Universe says, it's not odd, it's like the trees outside. Then you have to look outside and say, oh. Like I always, and when I sit in the house, then I looked and I said, oh, Mama Universe, why do you want me to today look like the wild trees? And then, yeah, sometimes we want that wild tree photo to look so perfect. Other times the wild tree photo is exactly so evoke, yes. This lovely juice, lovely. That's now that, and I love to put the spot off when I'm done with it now. That's good. That's cooking is ready and done, and everything fun. We're gonna explain Paco Rabanne now further when the cooking thingy. Accents, no actions, no actions. We're on that. So this lovely potato is now gonna grow, and I'm gonna get my kitchen tray. I'm gonna sit in this picture that I'm gonna grow this lovely potato. I'm gonna grow the chicken that's looking through there, and those are the only grows that we do on today's dish. And we get our kitchen tray, and I'm gonna get my kitchen tray. Y'all love my shoes. You look at that, everyone. Y'all gonna love this look. But I'm not doing this look today. But this is a very nice look. This dress on a Saturday. This yellow belt around the waist, and this shoe with this sock. Do that, so do the shoe and sock sometimes, not the bad. Do the shoe and the sock. It's a very nice outfit. I mean, let's put it nicely together, and this is a very nice hippie Saturday fashion style. Lovely, that's autumnies, and that's autumnies together with that lovely rice. And then we have all of those things. We're not going to talk about Paco Rabanne while it's got a good lot of time. That's nice. We're now going to talk about Ray-Ban sunglasses. My baking tray. Oven is on. and grow. Alright, comes to this side. And that's for today. Only dirtiness is this is not clean. All our utensils are not clean. This is not clean. We wash this now. Sometimes now. Before we set the table while we do the grow. And the kitchen is a fine kitchen. And that's why we prepare, if people do these videos, that's why we prepare the pumpkin before the time there. We do as much as we can before the time. So that such a process is fine when the cooking is done and when it's still a photo and it's now RIBEA ELISE and it's now my above vision, then the whole process is fine. Then I'm gonna get my chin and we're gonna quickly say a pack of RIBEA, a Ray-Ban sunglass initiative. That is, I now evoke profile photo on all our businesses and on all our profile photos. For our businesses means we have the fashion education here, so that's fashion in our Vogue business. We have the leading this generation education, that is the offers structured education. We have our cooking education here, that is normal plain home cooking food. And days that you get on a social media page and people might be Googling in at you. And then you know, okay, I might be wanting to maybe do this and do that to find out what do I now eat when I go to a restaurant. Because now your restaurant food is gonna be different. Your restaurant food is now not necessarily gonna be the food that you order but you cook at home. And that's where the type of restaurants that you go to are then the restaurants that would know that now a restaurant collaborate with the Vogue business because RIBEA ELISE, Miss Pecco Rabanne perfume, Pecco Rabanne, yes, Miss Ray-Ban sunglasses, yes, Miss Pierre Cardin with our Pierre Cardin style shoe, and I don't always wear Pierre Cardin, you get people that love a Pierre Cardin shoe. And I bought me a Pierre Cardin pump once in 2018. And I had that pump for quite some years into 2019, into 2020. It was a white pump. And I love everything about Pierre Cardin style shoes. And a lot of South Africans are fashioning a shoe that looks the same like Pierre Cardin, but they know not a Pierre Cardin. And then they're full of colors and then RIBEA ELISE say, but why is South Africans all wearing these shoes? And it looks interesting. And it looks fine. And it's a lovely flat shoe, and it looks kind on you. And then I went into Pierre Cardin store in South Africa, Lady Grace Street. And then I went to go and look for a shoe because I really was in South Africa now for time in 2018. I want a normal pump, and that when I put a jeans on, then I just have a pump, and it's not a tacky or it's not now a shoe that's now gonna be, having to look a certain way. It's just a shoe that's fine with every Saturday wear that you wear, right? Or with every day whether you wear a dress, then you just wear that pump. And this boot for me is like that. I wear this boot any day, wherever I go on any day. And when that is now fine, and RIBEA ELISE is not a person that would say that I prefer to look specific on a Saturday, but I exactly love to look specific. I'm not a person that would say that I prefer to wear this dress with a red color shoe, but I love to wear the dress and the shoe needs to look right when I have this dress on with it. And even this shoe that I have on, this boot is looking fine, right? In such a communication, and everyone is wearing it, and it's everywhere in South African stores, and it's not a Pierre Cardin, but it looks very interesting. RIBEA didn't buy it. And I really didn't buy that too. And I really didn't buy it because sometimes the design is not Pierre Cardin, and I didn't know nothing about a Pierre Cardin specific. But I'm just such a type of person. When I go into a store, that I would not necessarily take a clothing item because everyone is wearing it. I really look for a RIBEA ELISE type of item. And such you'll be introduced to your RIBEA Ray-Ban Vogue business, RIBEA ELISE specific way. I go to H&M and everyone had a good laugh yesterday in one of the YouTube videos. And someone in the YouTube videos that they sent through to the Rico mobile phone, South Africa making a lot of fun, but in an interesting way, but in an oppressive way. America has also been doing that about our house for quite some time. And while Doreen was listening to the video, and I sit in the room and I listen to the video, and the video goes like, who's going to look prettier today? The coat that RIBEA is wearing, the camel or the shoes, but the video doesn't specifically say it. The video says is that camel gonna sign, it's that camel H&M coat. Is that camel gonna be it today? And I have to listen to how humanity now sends these videos also to your house, and it's oppressive and it's everything about you. And I love that camel coat because it's everything RIBEA is. I love to look fine, and some people in the world has to learn that everything is fine. And while certain people in the world still have to learn that everything is fine, and they sit those YouTube videos where RIBEA is now really now that Ray-Ban sunglasses they are wearing on that day. And then no one runs to go and close Ray-Ban sunglasses because RIBEA is now Ray-Ban sunglasses. That smile, that personality, the Mama womb, Mama Anna's personality, Mama Anna's journey, Mama Anna in African-Americanness, Mama Anna in how the woman educates and presents, Mama Anna in everything seasons about our walk, our talk, our attitudes. And then such a specific business of Vogue is now not specific in line with the plastic Pierre Cardin shoe that was now the color and that is now in every store available. And when people order wants to edit my photos when I do my fashion photos on any day or the other, and then I'm now not going to be RIBEA. That's not going to be the kindest of all time. If people want to disrupt my photos and my videos and everything that I am saying and doing, so that they want to oppress and evoke a business in unseason. And then a Vogue business is exactly everything that when you go to H&M and you buy the coat in RIBEA, is it under that coat is Mama Anna Philandro. When you look at the coat, it looks like your mama. And when you wear certain clothes, it just looks like you. It's just everything you just get it right the whole time. It's not like when I do this dress and I post it on my Instagram, then the editors edit this dress so ugly and odd. When you go and Google on my Instagram photos and you look for the photos of how they've edited this dress, and it was really fine days and fine hairstyles and everything was right about the photo. And the world sometimes want to oppress even that process in your day. And then we even press play on the Vogue videos and we listen to how the RIBEA educate us a step further, rather than learning that Paco Rabanne and Ray-Ban, that Ray-Ban Paco Rabanne is now Paco RIBEA, pack that bag with the Vogue goodies in, with your awoken season in, and that is now everything a Vogue business, that is now your awoken purpose season, and that is now a journey, and that is now everything your birth womb. And then you have that Ray-Ban sunglass, that's now Ray-Ban, RIBEA ELISE, that stands next to Paco Rabanne, and everything with the R. River Island, yes, my sister used to buy River Island, Zara with the R. H&M Designs also with that same function, and the Vogue business is now not only the shoe that everyone wants to edit, and everyone wants to buy it, and to dye and edit, and it looks like a Pierre Cardin shoe, but it looks to be a little bit like a plastic shoe, and it just not gonna wear because it looks a little bit plastic, and I'm really not gonna buy it, and I don't not buy it because everyone is wearing it. I buy it because if it's now Pierre Cardin, let it for me be a Pierre Cardin, because that is my work business and my life journey. And that's why those years at the stores in South Africa, when I had to go and buy a suit and I didn't necessarily take the item, and I had a look at the item and I went out of the store again and I come out into the store again, and then it looks like this dress sometimes. And it looks like this communication sometimes, and it's your life journey. And I find myself in the shop about it. And I take the item, and if I wear it, and it diverts me off of me RIBEA ELISE, because me RIBEA ELISE is now Ray-Ban, it's now name brand. Someone said once in the office where I was working at Philip Morris, and the manager comes in and the manager says, and I had a purse that someone gave me. It was a Louis Vuitton, but it was a fake purse, right? And it was on the table. And the manager comes in and the manager looks and he says, RIBEA, is that now what is there? And it you listen again and she says again, you are an original. And she says, I promise you. And she jumps and she looks like my sister Antoinette, and her name is Anna also, and it's an Anna process, right? And she says, yes, and I have to mention her name. And she again gets excited, and she's just like my sister Antoinette, and she's just bold like Antoinette does, yes. And then I laugh and I look at her, and for me it's just a normal daily job, and I look at her again and I laugh because it really reminds me sometimes of my sister. And then she says, but really you are an original. And then I was not really introduced to why I was not so specific sometimes. Not specific in how you wear your seasons, specific in everything that I sometimes buy, how I sometimes choose what I buy, and would I normally buy that for me. And such was my things that I bought for myself in South Africa years. And those years I was working, but Wisdom Work Lodge, and everyone those years was now going to Mr. Price. Mr. Price put the items in the store, and I go and I select my items, right? You design your own cupboard. It's like designing everything you. And then the people at Mr. Price get excited about me because the way that I then design what I wear, the way that you put together what the designer buys for you, and you look at the item and then you learn that the item now really looks like you, and you discover yourself in that season. And that's where we are at with South 2024 education. Because in all of that, you really discover yourself in that. You really are introduced to your Paco Rabanne perfume, your Paco Rabanne purse, your Ray-Ban sunglasses, your Louis Vuitton. You are really now then introduced to you. My mama Anna had a friend, that surname was Matron, Sister Matron. And I met a boyfriend that came to me, and he was in the army, and he came those years from Congo, right? But he was an African guy, and he was a colored guy. And then when he came to me, he said one thing interesting to me those years. He said that he knew the Matons, and I said, but that was my mama's friend. I was such a little girl, and me and my mama always went to Sister Maton's house. And then I learned about Mama Anna Philander and about Sister Maton and about the Mama Anna processes of Anne. And such are you sometimes introduced to yourself in a season, and you don't really know that the processes are happening all around you, right? And then when you look at the education in the birth womb internationally, and how we are sometimes introduced to our king's house, our king's palace about our birth wombs, then it's exactly that you sometimes have to be specific when you have to go and buy your handmade. When you buy your items, I know my sister is very specific, and she buys her clothing very specific, and sometimes you just have to be you that are sometimes introduced to the birth womb of you in the international world of humanity. And that's where, when you buy this about photo, let me just say that again with everyone quickly. When you buy your Ray-Ban sunglasses, your Ray-Ban item, when you buy your Zara item, when you buy your H&M item, you know, you're introduced to everything about you. And everyone sometimes Googling, there's cameras sometimes in the stores, and they Googling on the item that you select. And they Googling, and you want that, and the fashionista gets excited about it a lot. And such is our educations and our introductions to our businesses sometimes. So when you buy that Ray-Ban sunglasses and you are introduced to you, then appreciate that. You are introduced to a Vogue, yes, appreciate everything in the wokeness of it. And let's love everything, us, everything about our South seasons. That's it, everyone. Have an amazing Vogue business and amazing banner season with me, RIBEA ELISE. And the Ray-Ban sunglasses season, yes, so with me, RIBEA ELISE, and with my Vogue business. Thank you for tuning. Like on the videos, everyone. Stay tuned. We're going to do our weekly videos also for everyone, so stay tuned and enjoy our Vogue autumn season with us.